Welcome back to our study on Genesis chapter 14 called For the Kingship Belongs to the Lord. And we're looking at this section here, we're going to be looking at is Genesis 14, 1 through 12. Call this the Battle of the Kings. And let's first look at the kings, okay? Here the chapter begins with a list of a bunch of kings. As you can imagine, there are a lot of theories about who these men were. I won't spend too much time on these, but I will point out some important things for you to be aware of. This is the setting of the story after all, and we kind of need to know what's going on. So first look at who is named first. Amraphel, king of Shinar. We've come across this place name already, right? Back in Genesis 11:2. We saw that the people found a plain in the land of Shinar and started to build a city and a tower. This is the land of Babylon, which is in modern-day Iraq. You can see Moses connecting what is happening here back to the tower and the people at Babel, which is pretty interesting. There's really a continuity of evil and destruction. So you got these people there, and really, this area is not too far from where Abraham was living to begin with. So now, the second king mentioned here is Arioch, and little is known of him. He was king of Elasar, which was south of Shinar. And then there's Kedorlaomer, was a king of Elam, which was located east of Babylonia in modern-day Iran. So we kind of know where we know about him more so than really the other ones. And then we come, finally, you have Tidal, the king of Goyim. Tidal is a Hittite name, which would have placed him reigning north of Canaan. All these people groups from these regions would impact the nation of Israel for centuries. And they still kind of do today. So the other 5 kings mentioned are all kings of cities located in the Jordan Valley. They're more like tribal kings. These 5 had served Kedorlaomer for 12 years, but they decided to band together in the 13th year, and they're going to break the bonds of their tributes that they had to pay, so they're ending their subjugation here. The following year, the 4 kings decided that they didn't want this new alliance to happen, they didn't like it, and so they invaded Canaan. Now, when they arrived in the valley of Siddim, the 5-city alliance tried to fight against Kedorlaomer, but they failed horribly. As they were being routed, some of their soldiers fell into the bitumen pits, but the rest fled to the hill country. So really they just took off running. People are dying. There's bitumen pits there where they were taking, it's basically like asphalt. They're taking that sticky stuff out. People are falling and they're dying. So that's how crazy the routing was. They just ran and fell into these pits. They were running so recklessly to get away. So this defeat really left the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah open to pillaging. And so then Kedorlaomer plundered all of the possessions. He took all the provisions in the city, and he took the people too. So he goes into Sodom and Gomorrah, takes everything basically that he could, and then heads back home. Now, what's the consequence here? We've seen the kings. What's the consequence of this? Well, in verse 12, we find that Lot, who is now dwelling in the city of Sodom, is one of the spoils of war. See, already Lot has left from just the green valleys and living out there in a tent. Now he's actually dwelling in the city. So he's taken his eyes off of what he should be and is now living amongst the people of Sodom. So Lot is one of the spoils of the war. He's taken as a prisoner. So choices have consequences, and bad choices have bad consequences. Lot has left his God-fearing uncle and now is hanging out with Bera and Bersha, whose names mean son of evil and son of wickedness. That should be a sign right there, man. Don't be hanging out with these people. But that's what he does. And he should have been, that should have been his first clue right away. I shouldn't be moving next to the son of evil and son of wickedness. But there you go. So he's thrown his hat in with these guys, and now he's really paying for it as he's captured and carried off by Kedorlaomer, and he's a prisoner now. So good job, Lot. But now you got this. The next part really shows us the providence of God. Because behind all this, we should see the providence of God. God is working. We know that the king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. That's what Proverbs 21 says. So we know this. We know that God is working. He's working these situations out for these people. He's getting them where he needs to go. If they made a bad choice against God, then he's going to correct them. That's what he does to his children. Now, Lot is a righteous man, remember? So he is believing in God. He is a follower of God. He's a righteous man. But he's making some poor choices. And so God has to intervene. So the kings here, like many people today, have no idea that though they are seeking their own selfish plans, are really serving the plan and glory of God. They don't know. They don't realize like the decisions that they're making, the choices that they have done, and the things that they're trying to really serve themselves. God's making it so that their evil plans are serving him. We see this over and over again. Joseph's story is a good one. But they have no idea that the evil that they intend will bring about the good in the life of the believer. This whole story of the kings warring against each other is just the stage for the real story, which is the action of Abram. And that's what we're going to look at next time.